में माताजी हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य स्थाने जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद हे अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। हरे कृष्ण। Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, while ordering his preachers to spread Krishna consciousness to the Western world, further remarked, "Those nations to whom you are going for the propagation of the chant of Hari are mounted on the summit of proficiency in all affairs of this world. They are practiced in the exercise of their rational judgment, are endowed with the quality of good manners, and are superior and glorious in many respects. Therefore, we should maintain our hope unshaken that they will prove to be the worthiest recipients of the heard transcendental voice if we unlock to them the gates of the natural exhibition of abiding argument and enduring judgment. If we unpack our baggage of the genuine discourse of Hari by relying on the qualities of forbearance, it will certainly receive the garland of welcome from the hearts of nations gifted with keen intelligence. However, there were those in Navadvip who thought Haridas Thakur and Nityanand Prabhu were crazy and considered that the intelligence of the Sankirtan partners had been polluted by Nimai Pandit. Some people even threatened to beat them or turn them over to the king. These two are crazy because of bad advice. You have become mad on account of bad association. Why have you come to make us mad? Many sober and civilized persons have become mad in this way. Nimai Pandit has spoiled them all. Beat them. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments, while following the order of Sri Chaitanya Dev, the preachers of Sri Chaitanya Matha face similar behavior even today. A former doctor of Salda, the Society of Caste Brahmanas, the community of pseudo renunciants, the Sakhi Bekis, the Sakhiviki, pseudo devotees who imagine they are intimate associates of the gopis and dress like the gopis, and 12 other unauthorized Mayavadi Sampradayas are prime examples of such people. Others said, perhaps these two are the spies of a thief. They are wandering door to door on the pretext of preaching. Why would good people act in that way? If they come again, we will take them to the king. We see that the modern day Krishna consciousness movement is similarly harassed by aggressive, unfortunate persons who are fully absorbed in a false conception of life. That is, that life and consciousness is no more than an exhibition of chance chemical combinations. Also, some narrow minded sectarian religionists who suffer from the disease of party spirit and do not understand the universal non sectarian philosophy of Krishna consciousness attempt to discredit the Krishna consciousness movement as a dangerous cult, often resorting to verbal attacks or even physical violence. Despite the opposition and scorn of such confused persons, members of the Krishna Consciousness Society approach those persons who are confused by such unfortunate offenders and attempt to convince such innocent persons of the eternal spiritual nature of consciousness, presenting them with a conception of the self that is non material, eternal, and full of bliss. Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas simply laughed at the threats and scornful words. On the strength of Lord Chaitanya's order, they were not at all frightened. At the end of the day, they would submit the report of their activities to Lord Chaitanya. This fearless transcendental attitude must be adopted by all preachers who wish to successfully follow the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jagai and Madai. One day, however, Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur saw two drunkards carrying on in the street. The inebriated duo was locally infamous for engaging in drunken debauchery, meat eating, assault, robbery, and arson. It was said that there was no sin they had not committed. Typically, they were almost continuously in an intoxicated condition and would punch and pummel whoever crossed their path. The local people tried to stay clear of them, not always successfully, and there were many stories about their heinous activities. Practically, the only offense they had not committed was the blasphemy of Vaishnavas. At the time of Lord Chaitanya, there were many sinful persons who were opposed to the Sankirtan movement. Many of them practiced a degraded form of dark arts, tantra, or worshipped the demigods for material benedictions. Still others were meat eaters, drunkards, and atheists. Sometimes the supposed pristine nature of the past is idealized. However, Kali Yuga culture is filled with degradation and vicious social attitudes which also afflicted the Vaishnava followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the social climate faced by 20th and 21st century preachers, there is likewise a society composed of many Jagais and Madhais. Jagai and Madhai were supposed to be leaders in their society, Brahmanas, and yet we see that they were drunkards, meat eaters, and indulged in unlimited forms of degradation and exploitation. Similarly, many people in the modern era may have fortunate births, education, and social backgrounds, and yet they also indulge in nasty habits, degraded practices, and exploitation. Despite the fortunate circumstances of their birth and education, such two legged animals never bother to examine themselves for faults or consider that any of their activities require rectification or atonement. Their callous and ignorant arrogance is the emblem of their misfortune. They are incapable of perceiving the long term effects of their misbehavior. Without the compassionate intervention of the Vaishnava preachers, there is little hope for such impious creatures. Inspiration for exhibiting compassion can be drawn from the tolerant and merciful behavior exhibited by Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur toward the Kali Yuga population represented in its extremity by Jagai and Madai. Well, I'll summarize. So we see about it's mentioned that in Kali Yuga, like even though people have high education, they're born in rich families, they have almost like everything. Since till they are like so unfortunate that they are not ready, to believe in God, like to understand why we are here, what is our position. They don't try to understand that even though so many facilities are there, but preachers are like so kind people in Krishna consciousness, the preachers we have seen, many of our like Maharaj and other preachers, they like, even though they have everything, still they don't care for themselves and they travel from one place to other, even though like we have seen even our spiritual masters, even they're like in their old days, they don't want to stay at one place. They don't want to take care of themselves. They just travel from one place to other, one country to other. They don't care for their health and anything else. So they are like so merciful. We can see like from the story of Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, they are so merciful, and because of that merciful and tolerance nature, like we today now, like we are like we are also fortunate to understand who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is, what is our position, what we have to do, why we are here. So yeah, so like these preachers, because of their merciful and tolerance nature, yeah, the Kali Yuga people are, even though people in Kali Yuga like the Scully, right? The tendency to quarrel, this is the Yuga of quarrel and hypocrisy. Still, we are fortunate because of the tolerance nature and merciful nature of the preachers and our acharyas. Yeah, yeah, that's my understanding is from, because Jagai Madai, they represent today's leaders. They were like it's mentioned, there was no such kind of crime they have not committed. Only they did not offend any, did not do any blasphemy of any Vaishnavas. Apart from that, they committed all kind of heinous activities. So they represent today's leaders. We have seen like today's leaders, we cannot expect from them, from like Lord Ram or like kind of like Ram Rajya. We cannot expect that from today's leaders. Even though they have everything, they don't try to understand who God is. They don't even believe in God. Jagai Madai represent today's leaders. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Now we have to go to our chanting. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhut